And we are, in fact, back for the final hour of A Song of Tara for this week. And as been said before, this is the final episode for this year because, well, then the holidays happen and then New Year happens and so on. But we are on you are on a heath in southern Ireland chasing down sheep with greater or lesser success. And having a jolly good time of it, and you do spend the rest of the day on that if you want to. There's plenty of exercise to be had that way, and quite frankly, sheep are sufficiently dumb. Even sheep spirits are sufficiently dumb that after a while, when you've actually caught a few of them, you can start playing tricks on the rest, making them, I don't know, tumble or whatever. It's not tumbleweeds; it's tumble sheep.
I think after a few hours, Taryn will probably be annoyed with all the fucking wool in her mouth.
Mm-hmm.
So she'll stop at some point and then just start sniffing around.
You'll have this really weird taste of lanolin in your mouth.
Guys, I think I'm doing it wrong. Why? They look over and all they can see is fluff in her mouth.
All right. You sniff around for what exactly?
Something interesting. If there's any other spirits that's, doesn't have an IQ that's, floor level.
No, you don't actually find any major spirits around here of any kind. They're all pretty basic things.
All
Can
right.
I start sniffing?
Can you what?
Start sniffing. I was following a scent trail that led me here, so...
Yes. Well, you followed a scent trail in the
That stopped, and I assumed it went here.
Oh, okay. Well, sure, you can smell.
Let's sniff.
Yes. Sniffy,
44.
Sniffy. And...
44, and I'm in wolf form.
That's a lot of very high numbers. No, there is no scent of them in here at all.
Then I am very sorry to inform Taryn of this. And the Alpha. Probably in reverse order. Alpha first, then Taryn.
Taryn is currently trying to get wool out of her mouth. They're stuck in its teeth.
I think this only strengthens our own theory that they may have gone through some secret entrance in the moonlight. Yes.
Yes.
Right.
So,
you have spent a while on this anyway, so as I said, you can spend the rest of the day on it if that's what you want to do. But
one last thing I'd like to do is that the scents that lead into the castle, is it just Fina and a couple of others, or is it all of them?
It's all of them.
My God, even the bears are down there. That's going to be interesting. In that case, yeah, if there's something else to be investigated, excuse me while I sniffle, then yeah, I think we can continue to hunt.
Taryn will end up looking at them from the hill. Sitting there, calmly, enjoying the sun.
Yep. Otherwise, yeah. I think when it starts to actually get dark, Sally will call it all off and we'll sort of start preparing ourselves for if and when we actually get down to this potentially non-existent secret underground place.
Yes. Well, you get. You obviously time passes. You get to late in the afternoon, although the moon hasn't quite risen yet. But it gets early evening, and it's just about that time.
I don't know what you've rolled for, Taryn, but it's very good.
I rolled to get out of the Umbra again.
Yep.
Oh yeah, we should all do that, shouldn't we?
Yeah.
Yes, let's squeeze out the Umbra.
Remember, you just got back a point of gnosis if you
actually killed something.
Yeah, and if you're not at full.
I was. Well, that's all successes then.
Yes, it is.
Excellent. You just zip out.
Zip, zippity doo da zip.
Just go. And the gauntlet spits me out.
I have a good sound for that.
It's certainly better than.
Oh, come on, no.
No.
Oh,
No!
oh, stop it.
Well, only one then.
Yes.
No!
I still think mine is
Nothing.
better.
Go away.
Sorry.
Ladies
Stop
and gentlemen
thinking.
of the listening audience, here's a service announcement. That was in fact not Rasmus whacking off, it's something he does with his mouth. And that sounds so wrong.
Sadly, it's his thinking sound. He does that every time he thinks.
That doesn't help.
Actually, sometimes I also do weird stuff with my hands, and since I've been banned from doing the sound, I've noticed myself using my hands more for thinking.
Oh, God. No matter what anyone says right now, it can be misconstrued. So let's get
Yeah.
back.
No.
Let's get back to the issue at hand. And you all get out from the looks of it? Yes. You
We
all
get out.
Yes, you all get out. No problem. And as you wait out there on the hillside, looking towards the keep, the sun does in fact set, and lo and behold, up comes the moon. And you have this really strange sense or sensation in your bodies. It's not that you can actually see anything, but there's just a feeling that there is something here, and it's really, really old.
Well, we're gonna follow the moonlight.
Well, the moonlight is obviously illuminating everything, but it's just, you just have a feeling like you are in the middle of something truly ancient. And it's almost alive.
The ancient feeling, is it
Yes.
good?
It's definitely not malevolent.
But it probably makes us feel quite small.
It makes you feel observed, but not by something that wants to harm you.
Yes, it's not those judgmental pricks from the hospital.
No, in fact, you can't feel them at all.
Oh,
Sarah goes to look at the place where the scent vanished.
Yes. Well, she goes there, and what do you do when you get to the point?
Well, circle it, trying to figure out if there's something you're supposed to do to get in.
Right, well, the rest of you can see that she walks over there, and then you can't see her anymore. She's just gone.
Okay, Liam
Marty
starts.
lays out a
Yep.
surprised yelp.
Yep. Go.
However, wolf sounds.
Follow that Taran.
Yes. You run over there, all of you, and, well, there's Taran once you get there. But...
This is gonna.
Oh, sorry, go on. No, please, you first.
As soon as he sees Taran again, he points a finger and just says, You won't understand this, but don't vanish like that again." Exactly.
Yeah.
Someone looks back. What?
Exactly. No, you went over there to look at something, to find something, and you vanished. So wherever we are, we've somehow made our way in.
And while you guys are talking, you're looking at each other and so on, it's as if the moonlight vanishes. And suddenly everything smells like you're surrounded by dirt and wet rock.
That sounds less pleasant.
No, it's actually not an unpleasant smell. It's running water. It's not.
Oh, I guess it's not wet dirt.
No. It's just. It's an earthy kind of scent, obviously, but at least for the guru, that's not an unpleasant smell at all.
It
I
vaguely.
guess I kind of like it then.
It vaguely. Give me a second. Reminds Taliesin of the smells of the farmland of an old farmer and family friend of his from back when he
Yes.
was living in Wales.
Yes, pretty much.
Taryn starts looking around.
There's no light here at all. It's pitch black.
Rummages around in her bag until she finds a flashlight.
Oh, right, yes, you've got a flashlight. Yeah. Well, when you click it on, you realize that you are standing on dirt. It's just, there's no grass or anything. It's just stamped dirt. And you are surrounded by great huge blocks of stone on 3 sides. They're not polished. It's not like it's a finely crafted room or anything, but they are covered in symbols etched into the rock.
Any symbols we recognize?
Yeah, a few actually. You would recognize a couple of them. More specifically, you would recognize the Fina tribal glyph and a couple of other Guru glyphs, but most of them would be unknown.
Interesting.
This place has...
Taryn walks down the last one. The one with no stone.
Yes. Well, it's a pathway, obviously. It's not terribly wide, but 2 of you could walk side by side there.
Yes, let's link arms and go hopping and skipping.
Well, you walk down through this hallway. It goes straight ahead for a while, but it also clearly goes downwards slightly. It's not like a steep decline, but it does go downwards. And eventually you come across, or come upon, not across, but you come upon a gateway. As you walk along, there are obviously the walls are lined with more stones. These have a very strange kind of writing on them. Let me see. Let me see here. I can't remember how the hell it's spelled. Yes, it is. They are basically long horizontal lines with a number of vertical lines going up or down at regular intervals, and then once in a while you find lines that are slanted rather than straight up or straight down. It's very clearly some kind of writing.
Anyway,
sorry, go on.
But none of us could know what it means.
None of you would know what it means. It's a dead language, so none of you have
exactly.
any. But do any of you have any anything in academics?
I
Yeah.
have 2
Oh,
points.
let's see.
Good. If you have academics, roll. You could roll
I do not.
intelligence plus academics for me, please.
My weakest. Okay, interesting mix there.
Right.
So I've got 2 7s and 2 6s, and Darren has a 10,
Yes.
6, 2 5s and 2 4s.
You both have a pretty good idea. Well, Tally gets it pretty quickly, but and Taryn a little later. This is the oldest Irish alphabet known. This is what's called Ogham.
I think the reason Taryn is slow is because she's not really interested. She's walking directly in one direction.
Yep.
Tally sort of gently brushes a hand against the stone and says, "How old is this place? This language is... This is the oldest one we know of."
It's been this language has been dead for 1,000 years. Nobody has written it or spoken it since the 10th century.
I communicate that almost exactly to the to those of us that are still there, seeing as Taryn has decided to press on.
Right. As interesting as that is, and it is interesting. We have a packmate who's, gone ahead. We might want to follow her.
Mm-hmm. So yes, Tally goes off as well, and quite not too loudly, but fairly firmly says, "Taran, let us keep up with you."
Remember the together as a pack part.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Taryn stopped. She didn't realize you stopped.
Well, you anyway, as I said, the point is that the walls are covered in this. It's there's a lot of writing here. It's not like when you look at a rune stone, for example, where there's usually like one band of runes giving a very specific message, usually to commemorate someone who died. This looks like a long tale, like almost like a book.
Yeah, so
I
basically,
sniff the wall book.
The wall book has fairly recent scents on it, as if somebody has reached out and touched the wall at some point.
Is it a nice smell
Well,
or?
you can smell Fina here, definitely. She's definitely been in here. There's no question.
I smell Fina. And then, just for the sake of it, even though it had such a nice smell outside, I think I might as well sense worm, just to be on the safe side.
Yes.
Do the tribal symbols pop up throughout the written text on the walls, or are they just found
No,
in
they
one
were
place?
they were at the entrance, but
Okay.
or the first chamber. No obvious entrance, but yes. And
Okay.
you don't really get much scent of anything.
Well, that makes that seems fair.
Too many interesting other scents here, obviously. But
Yes.
you go further along, and you come to this as I said, this what's it called? A gate, which is made up of 3 very large stones, 2 that are standing upright, 1 which is lying across the other 2 and holding up basically holding up the ceiling. It's huge. Again, this gateway is large enough for a Krynos Guru to walk through it quite comfortably.
what was this place used for? I mean, a few slabs of text here and there, that's normal, but this whole repository of language and information, of tales, what was this place for?
You walk through the gates, then.
Suppose we do.
On the other side, you enter a large chamber. It's a fairly large chamber, but there's a door on the other side leading further on. But in the chamber that you are in, you see there along the walls are stone tables, upon which are placed different goods, different items, weapons, swords, helmets. They're all very, very, very old. They're in perfect condition. The air here is dry, so they haven't rusted or anything. They're in very good condition.
Yeah, there's no oxidization.
Exactly.
They're grave goods, aren't they?
They are, in fact, grave goods. There are cauldrons and jugs and jars as well. Whoever was buried here was quite wealthy. There's a lot of bronze here, a lot of bronze, in fact, and quite a bit of silver.
Interesting. We won't touch that.
No.
And then...
Why not?
Because silver hurt. Ouchie.
Yes, silver is ouch.
So, yes.
Well, not while I'm a wolf.
No.
You walk further along through the next door. You head further down. You come upon the next room, which is of equal size. And again, you're still walking downwards. You come upon the next room, which is of equal size to the one you just came through, maybe even a little bit larger. You see, along each wall, you see 8 stone chairs. And in each of them sits the skeleton of a dead person. They're slumped, obviously. They're not sitting upright or anything. But whoever was here, or whoever here is here, had some guards with them. From the looks of it.
Is this place a tomb or a...
There's also there are also 3 people who are clearly dressed, or their equipment looks different than the ones sitting on the chairs, who are sitting up against the wall in one case, and 2 of them are just lying on the floor, but not, you know, directly down the middle of the room. So they look like they may have been killed here violently hundreds of years ago.
But crucially, they died a long time after the original occupants passed on.
Maybe, you can't be sure. I mean, they're still using swords and shields and mail armor and that kind of thing.
Okay.
In fact, give me an academics roll again, those who have it. Because
what about medicine?
No, I mean they're skeletons. They're skeletal remains.
Can I give you a random lupus knows nothing roll?
No, because this is something you would get from books.
Yes, that's what I mean. So I'll just roll something, and depending on that, you'll tell me some random crap I make up.
Okay.
Oh, great.
Cool.
Yeah, so 9 and a 7 on my part, so 2.
Yes.
Yay!
Deadeye is pretty sure that if you chew on these guys' bones, they're not going to taste very nice.
That's good.
That makes sense. I'm not going to chew on those bones.
Exactly.
Okay. What about those of us who are not interested in using the remains of the dead as dental hygiene implements?
Yes. Well, you what you can see, or what you can tell, is that some of these guys who are sitting here, the ones in the chairs, they are in fact they're Irish. Their equipment you would be able to recognize from textbooks in school and such like. Their equipment is Celtic in origin. Their swords, their helmets, so on and so forth. The guys lying across the floor are Vikings. They're Norsemen.
They came to...
Sarah looks at them and then smirks with a Fina, get a Fedris.
Yes, that's what Tally nods and thinks. I'm thinking the same. I think this place is a Fina stronghold.
Probably. Well, it's a good thing we came here to find Fina then.
Anything else?
Without realizing that he does so, Liam puffs out his chest a bit, and his confidence growing as he's apparently in a place of some significance to his
Yes.
tribe.
Yes. Sorry. Oh, please.
Shall we move on? There was a lynx, and the room was smaller, and a stone slab with a lady on it.
Yes. That's your vision, yes.
Mm-hmm.
I think before we move on, Tally will take the moment to make some kind of respectful gesture towards the dead.
Yes.
Is that sort of that would be his thing to do, and then moving on. Is there anywhere to move on to? Or is this
Yes,
dead
there's
end?
there's another, again, it's another door leading further down. And as you go through that door, and by now you realize you've got to be maybe 40 or 50 meters below ground. It's fairly far. And
Deeper
every time you walk through one of the hallways, there's more writing on the ceiling, more writing on the walls. The next gate you get to is of the same size and same type, but beyond that you can see light.
Light?
Yes, torchlight. flickering lights as if from fire.
Can we hear anything?
Yes, you can hear the sound of a small stream, not exactly a raging river, but you can hear the sound of running water.
Good! I'm not going in there again. It's just a stream.
Yes,
We
it's
might
just
be
a
able
small
to jump
stream.
over it.
Okay.
Very continuous.
So you enter the room?
Mm-hmm.
Good. What you see is, it's a little bit complicated, so I'm going to have to explain this to you.
Sure.
You are in a very large circular room, underground room. It's domed. You can't actually see the ceiling, but you can kind of tell from the echoes that it's domed. There's a fairly good. The acoustics in here are remarkable. There is a stream, small stream, but still it's running water, which is running across the floor, dividing the room in two. On the other side of this stream, a cliff wall rises vertically upwards for maybe 20 meters or so. There are torches all around the wall, and there are torches placed on this cliff face as well, rising about 20 meters up. At the top of that 20-meter cliff, you see yet more light. It actually looks like there might be either a lot of torches or maybe even a small bonfire up there of some kind. And and you can see three people up there. You can only see them in silhouette, but they are clearly aware that you guys are there. They don't seem particularly hostile. One of them is crouching. One of them is standing upright with arms crossed over its chest, and one is sitting in a large chair, apparently made from stone. It's the same kind of chair that the skeleton sat in, except it's considerably larger. And as you look up there, you realize that even down where you are, there are other creatures, including a bear, which has lied down to get some sleep. It's napping over by the wall.
Well, we've found the bear.
I beg clarification as to whose court we have entered.
Well, the figure on the chair stands up. It's a female. They all are.
Mm-hmm.
She stands up and looks down towards you. Again, you can only really see the outline, but she looks slender, but lithe, and, well, not lithe really, but athletic. Slender and athletic is the word. And she says in fairly thick accents, she says, nobody holds court here. It is not a court. We keep this place in trust. Nothing else. It is a safe place.
Oh.
It's a safe place for those who need it.
Very well.
Who are you who enter here?
We are Guru of the Raven's Eye Sept of Dublin.
You are far from home.
We are.
But you are welcome.
Thank you. We have come in search of one of our kin who may have entered this place.
She has. And she's here, and she's safe. And should she wish to go with you, which I assume she will, you are more than welcome to take her with you. I will...
To what?
You dropped out.
Oh, then you are more than welcome to take her with you, if she wishes to go. We have done nothing but keep her safe.
It might be worth finding out from her what she wishes to be safe from before we take her from her safety.
Absolutely. Although I can explain to you as well, should you wish. But certainly, I understand why you might want to hear it from her.
Mm.
She turns around and well, half turns, more like it, and calls out, "Fina, there are people here for you." And she listens. You can't really hear it from up there, but apparently there's an answer. And the woman smiles. Apparently, you can hear it in her voice. She's got that twinge to her voice. She says, "No, they are, in fact, the people you said you hoped would find you. They are from, they say, from the Ravens Sept. Was that it? The Ravens.
Raven's Eye.
Raven's Eye Sept. Right. Oh, may I? She said, "May I ask your names?"
My name is Taliesin Blevins, or finds the words.
Taliesin Blevins. Very well. She says and looks over her shoulder. There's a man here who says his name is Taliesin. Do you know that? And she says, "Oh, right. Of course, you will need to be able to get down there." She turns around and looks to one of the other figures, one of the other women, and says, "Would you please?" And what happens next is that you see Fina arriving at the edge up there, and she looks down on all of you. And then the woman who was just spoken to, but who hasn't actually said anything yet, holds out a hand for Fina, who takes that hand. The other woman holds her around the waist, and Fina hangs on. And then she takes a length of rope which is lying on the floor, and she one arm rappels down the cliff, and sets Fina on the floor, and then crawls back up herself.
Oops.
This is your cue to do your thing?
Well, Taryn has started stepping from foot to foot through all that shit.
Mm-hmm.
And the second Fina is set down, she just bolts towards her.
Yes. And likewise, Fina does the same. Obviously, gets, launches herself at Taryn, pretty much. And when she's got a hold of Taryn, and she realizes that it is her, and that she smells right, and that, she proceeds to pound her fists into Taryn's chest with this, "How dare you? How fucking dare you?"
Ow, 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 ow.
Yes.
Well, Taryn doesn't go ow, 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 ow. She just wails. I had no idea it would take so long. Oh God, I was worried sick.
The woman up on the ledge, while this is going on, sits back down on the chair, crosses her legs, and says, "Is there anything else we can help with?"
Perhaps the matter of there's something else, something that might relate to Fina's safety, but that's certainly related to the safety of us and all of Ireland, potentially.
That sounds very serious indeed. Please tell.
There is a great evil, a triune evil, three presences, malevolent and condemning. They have been watching our actions, taking pleasure in our suffering, and they are responsible for the erasure of people and events and things from the fabric of reality.
They sound extraordinarily powerful.
They do. It is their taunting and their schemes that may have set us on this quest in the first place. They claimed that should we stay in Dublin, poor Fina would die, and that if we went to save Fina, people we cared for in Dublin would die.
Well, in that case, they are lying to you, seeing as Fina has been quite safe with us for, well, several days.
Might I ask how she came to be in this place? How did you bring her here?
Well, it was mostly a matter of someone else bringing her here to us, though not by their design. The problem was that a vehicle, and I'm not quite used to these automotive carriages, but this vehicle parked outside the ruins, and out came two men, according to my friend here. She says and gestures towards the crouching figure. And they were hauling Fina with them, physically. Now, I do not believe in letting anyone manhandle, if you'll pardon the pun, a woman. It goes against everything I believe in. And it goes against everything I stand for. But, well, I would probably have found a more peaceful solution to the matter.
I fear the men that you speak of would not accept peaceful designs on any action they take.
I suppose you're probably right. In any case, they are in fact dead. I learned of this after the fact, but they are in fact dead. And I don't know why they came here specifically. I must confess to a certain confusion about that myself as well. At first I thought it might be because we have someone else in safekeeping here, who we also, shall we say, liberated.
Liberated?
Sandy.
Is that her name?
It depends. Is it?
Maybe.
She hasn't been awake.
May we see her?
It's a bit difficult to get her down from up here, I suppose. But I'm sure that Fina can. Fina nods and says, "Yes, it's Sandy. She's asleep up there."
She's not.
Karen breathes a sigh of relief. She's somewhat okay then.
Well, she's sleeping. She's been sleeping since I got here, but they say that she looks dead, but they say that she's sleeping. They know what they're talking about.
If she's not gone yet, it means that she's not yet suffered final death.
Well,
so there's a chance, but
final death is, well, it hasn't come upon her, thankfully. We haven't woken her.
No, there's no safe means to do so. You need blood of her kind.
No, that's not a problem.
Taryn has already wrinkled her brows because a normal werewolf wouldn't have let a sleeping vampire sleep. So she just slowly looks up with a, "You're not werewolves, are you?"
No. We never claimed to be.
No. Taryn just shakes her head. No.
I feel perhaps it would be. It has. Forgive our rudeness. We haven't actually asked you your name or what you are.
Well, she says, you don't have to. I'm perfectly all right with you not asking such questions if you'd rather do without the information. However, my name is Hala.
Well met.
Oh, yay!
Interesting.
Yay!
Wow. Okay. Right.
And I am very pleased to meet you, should I add.
We in turn are pleased to meet you. And it is good. It is very good that you have kept our friends and our friends' friends safe and sound here.
Indeed, it's my pleasure to do so. She says and gestures down towards Fina. She is a kind woman.
Terran nods. Though she is currently rubbing the place where Fists has pummeled her.
Yes.
With... Ow.
Well, at this point, Fina has stopped pounding and started sobbing against you.
Terran is also crying, but she's standing upright because if she doesn't, she'll end up falling over with Fina, who is leaning on her.
Tally goes over to the pair and puts a hand on Taran's shoulder and says, "Remember what you were told in Erebus. Act on it." Hello.
Hello.
Yeah? She has nodded at Tally.
Yeah.
Oh, she's nodded. I didn't hear you say that.
Oh.
I think it swallowed that, but yeah. Anyway.
Don't swallow my words. I do that plenty myself.
Okay.
Anyway, the Hala looks at the woman that rappelled down in one hand with Fina, sorry, and the point, of course, being that if you do that, the only way she can rappel down like that is by letting the rope slide through her hand. So presumably she would have burnt her hand quite badly. She looks at her and says, "This is my sister, Rana. Rana is, well, she doesn't speak much these days. But I can assure you, she is my, she's my good friend and has been for many years. But she's also been a very stalwart protector of, what was her name again? Sandy. She was the one who found her and brought her here. Again, we do not allow women to come to harm.
Anyway. Terran nods at the lady with a thanks.
The protection of women is a very, very, very important and noble goal.
Oh, indeed. It has been for, well, since time immemorial, I suppose. It is, I should say, it is a pleasure to have such a calm and, if you'll pardon the word, civilized conversation with the Guru. It doesn't happen very often.
That's not the first time we've been told that, believe me.
Now, I hope you will believe me when I say that I have absolutely nothing but the very best of intentions. I hope that my actions so far have proved that. However, should you wish should you wish for this to end with us going away with our departure, we can do so. I would be sad to leave this place. It has served us very well. But I believe this place has a great significance for your kind.
Yeah, the realization sinks in with Taliesin, and for first confusion, then the realization, like, oh, I must confess I hadn't thought of that. I mean, don't get me wrong.
Sense-worm!
Sense-worm? Sure, go ahead.
Sorry for
What?
interrupting.
Muddy is not trusting, so he will. He'll,
There is absolutely no emanation from the woman speaking, from Hala. She is clean as a whistle. There is no more than you would find from an ordinary human being from the one she already addressed, from Rana. The last one does bleep.
Which one is the last one?
Well, the last one is the crouching one. She does have a sort
bleep.
of... Yeah, she does register as tainted.
As majorly or minorly or...
No, not majorly, but she is tainted.
Yeah, this is one confused puppy. Because that doesn't fit with what she just implied.
does Marty want to vocalize this?
Not yet, because he probably would have, if not for the fact that he's been told by, his pack leader, I think it was, that there are in fact such things as good vampires.
Mm-hmm.
Which he hasn't really understood yet, but clearly if she's implying what she is, and she doesn't smell tainted, she might be one.
Possibly, but...
Well, those are his thought patterns,
Yeah,
so he's thinking.
Okay.
And being confused.
I think Taliesin continues. Personally, there are no guru out here, and we're few enough. I'm not sure we'd be able to reclaim this place effectively. I wouldn't mind you staying here, but that's not for me to decide. I mean, Liam, what do you think?
I think that they kept Fina safe, and apparently they've also kept another of your allies, or our allies, safe. I think they've done us a great service, and if it were up to me, which I don't think it is, but if it were, I would let them stay. I don't see what good will come of removing them from this place.
I'm thoroughly.
Karen
humbled.
looks relieved.
Yeah, so
Hala says I'm thoroughly humbled by by that, and I'm grateful. As I said, we have had good use of this place. It's an excellent place to hide and keep people in need of help safe and, well, out of harm's way for those who would harm them.
I do think that there is one condition we could insert here.
Sure, let me hear it.
That we may call you allies as well.
I would be honored to have that happen. I would certainly I would certainly not be against that idea, and I must say I'm a little surprised. I have never had that offer extended to me from a guru before, but I'm more than happy to.
Well, if you could have talked with Sandy, you would know we are very weird, Guru.
Well,
She smiles softly.
well, as I mentioned,
talk,
she's well, she has been asleep since she got here. We did not wake her up yet because we didn't know what was going on or who she was. All we knew was that she was a woman in need of help.
she's... I'll explain that momentarily, I think, if I can any further. But first,
Certainly, I'm listening.
well, first, Marty, what say you about this situation?
Well, I think this might be a good time to turn into a hermit then.
Yes, please do.
Because saying anything is not... I mean, he's not eloquent in wolf form.
No.
So that's stamina and primal urge.
You can just shift in this place.
Yeah, I was about to suggest that.
In this place, you can just shift. Also, all of you, if you have any missing willpower, if you have any missing gnosis, it has been refilled.
Oh my.
Cool.
Well, I guess Marty shifts and stands up, and he locks eyes with Taliesin and says, I do not know, so I trust you. And there is a bit of an underlying, so don't make me regret it.
Well, thank you for the confidence. Yes, Sandy is, well, you know what she is essentially, and you know that she is a woman, but
Yes,
maybe not entirely physically so.
she is a woman. That is
Yes.
all there is to it. There is
I know.
nothing more that needs to be said.
No, but point is this: because she is a vampire. He has to bring himself to say it because he can't quite.
Yes.
She can't remove the physical aspects of her that aren't female, and it's torturing her.
I think, she says, and ponders this for a long time, then she turns her head to the remaining, still crouching form and says, why don't you go and get her? Bring her down to her friends. That seems to be the best idea right now. And the final woman gets up with a nod and walks to the back of the cave up there, and comes back a little bit later with, well, clearly with Sandy, carrying her. And she steps off the ledge and lands. She literally just falls down 20 feet, or 20 meters, lands in the stream, still with Sandy in her arms, and she's clearly still in torpor.
Yes.
And she carries her over to the rest of you. She is, incidentally, the woman in question. Lygrana is, she is wearing male armor. She's armed with a sword. And she looks at all of you with, there's a very distinct animalistic kind of feel to her. She holds Sandy out for one of you to, well, take her.
Yeah, Taliesin jumps at the calling.
Yeah. At which point, the woman in question bites down on her own wrist, hard, blood springs, and she holds it to Sandy's lips, and, well, lo and behold, she begins to drink. It takes a few moments. Then this woman tears her arm free. Sandy clearly wants to hold on to it, but she tears her arm free, nods to all of you, and says, she's a woman. That's all there is to it. And then she walks, that's all she says, and then she walks over to the bear and sits down and scratches it behind its ear. And that's
Interesting.
this woman.
Arona.
Oh, that's wonderful.
You're doing.
That
It
is
really is.
genuinely wonderful. None of you listening in will get this, but you don't need to. This is purely for us, and we are so happy right now.
I did threaten to do this.
Yeah, you did.
I am so pleased to see this character again.
Same. Now I'm just a little scared. Are they hiding a Malkavian out back somewhere?
Yeah, shall we explain this to the audience, or shall we just leave it?
Leave it. It's fine.
Okay. You know, people are going to ask us in the chat now. We're going to be like,
Yeah,
no, I'm not
that's
going to tell
fine
you.
if
We'll
they
be
do that.
coy about it.
If that's the case, then well, maybe we will at that point.
Okay,
Maybe.
but that's wonderful. I'm just grinning. Okay, so
Oh, favorite little grump.
so yeah, Sandy, is she?
Sandy wakes up. She actually. Well, she comes back around. She gets. She catches. Well. She catches on pretty quickly that somebody is holding her. She is in
And then
fact
she gets
still.
a face full of Terran.
She is in fact not dead. Well, dead. She's still dead, but not.
All
well,
dead.
Yes, not on.
She's still moving.
Dead. She's still
Above
yes.
volition.
She's self-ambulatory if dead,
Mm.
and she's really quite confused at seeing you guys. Clearly confused. And she's like, what? Where am I? Where are we? What is all this?
And then Taliesin very tightly embraces her, trying to suppress sobs of relief.
Yeah, and Fina must just have to, to get over the fact that she's dragged into the hug as well.
It's a group hug.
Group hug. Okay.
And Muddy stands awkwardly to the side.
Not understanding why they're hugging a vampire.
No, and this one probably feels tainted as well.
No, she
No.
doesn't.
Oh, well then it's less weird.
She is in fact explicitly she was one of very, very few vampires in Dublin that did not feel tainted.
So not even the background vampire.
Well, yes, she's got the same background stuff as the rest of the world, basically. That's what makes Hala so unusual, is that there isn't even the background stuff.
I think that might also have helped convince him that okay, maybe I don't know as much as I ought to. But he'll still just stand awkwardly, I don't know, fiddling with his new his eye bandage.
Yes.
Mhm.
The patch, the eye patch,
Yes.
made from the old ghost's funky cravat.
I don't think he knows it, but I think one of the reasons he's fiddling with that specific thing is because it's related to Sandy.
Oh right, yes, of course.
Yes, we've all got little things for Sandy.
She very happily returns the hug and it's just confused more than anything. She is super confused right now because she has no idea where she is, how long she's been out for, and you guys are there, and last time she remembers anything, you weren't there, and
Okay. Yes. Tally pulls back to actually look at her.
yes,
Eyes probably getting a bit red around the edges,
yes.
and just says, "You're safe. That's what matters."
I am. Where are we? What is this? What happened?
We're halfway across the country, about 50 odd feet underground, in the company of some very strange but very helpful women.
The last thing I remember, Reinhard and his goons came for me.
They're
and
dead.
they staked me, and that's the last I remember.
Yeah.
Go.
He's dead, you say?
All gone.
They're all
They-
all gone.
There are almost no vampires left in all of Dublin.
How long have I been out for?
3.5. Please,
From
this might be a bit.
Maybe.
So this might be a shock. About 3.5 months.
Wow. Talk about oversleeping.
Yeah.
Well, if it's been 3.5 months, she says and scratches her neck and the back of her head. She says, if it's been 3.5 months, then this is obviously seriously overdue. And she grabs Taliesin by the scruff of his jacket and kisses him.
Yep.
Karen just takes
And I think we're going to end there, because that's a brilliant place to stop for 2016.
The second damn time you've done this.
I am that evil.
Yeah, but the
All
sad
right.
thing is, I love it, so...
We
Oh, dear.
will. Well, you first and foremost, I'm going to be nice to you. It is last time this year. It's going to be Yule next weekend. So
Mhm.
you are going to get the Grand Slam total of full 5 XP today
Wow.
as a present.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you very much.
You are all also, because I am that nice of a storyteller, you are also all getting a reroll that you can use in this campaign only.
Oh, nice.
I shall make a note of that.
Yes, everybody gets a reroll, because, Yule rerolls have to be a thing. And,
Of course.
yeah, and I think what remains to be said about all this is I thoroughly enjoyed getting those characters involved in this campaign, because it bloody well had to happen. And I look forward to 2017 and more mad hijinks with this group of weirdos, for lack of a better word. It has been an amazing ride so far, and I don't see it stopping anytime soon, fortunately.
Nope.
And, well, on that note, to everyone who's listening in, we do have a growing number of viewers. I don't exactly think we're setting the internet on fire with tens of thousands of viewers yet, but, who knows, maybe one day. But to all of you, I hope you will have a fantastic Christmas, a happy Yule, an outstanding Hanukkah, best Kwanzaa in the history of Kwanzaas. Or if you don't celebrate any of that or anything else, then just have a very, very good time until you see us, or we see you, or hear from each other in the new year. And thank you for listening so far. Goodbye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye. See you next year.